Hey everyone, I'm Jacob Hilburn. I'm an attorney with Vesta Settlements, and this is Dennis Nadora, our in-house title agent. Today we're going to be talking about surveys and why it's important for buyers to get a survey as part of the property purchasing process and heading into settlement. There are really two reasons for buyers to get a survey, and the first one is just that they will have a greater knowledge of the property that they're purchasing before they get to the closing table. Virginia in particular is a very heavily buyer beware state, and that means that buyers are going to be held responsible for any issues on the property that they could have been aware of if they had taken steps and conducted reasonable diligence to make themselves aware of any issues on the property before closing. So that means home inspections, any issues that would show up on a home inspection, and any issues that would show up on a survey. And there are lots of issues that could potentially show up on a survey, including fences if they have been built on the property and they are built across the boundary line into the neighbor's lot. That could lead to an encroachment suit or buyers having to pay to have the fence moved. The same with decks or pools. Driveways we often see have been built over the boundary line of a property. Another thing that might show up on a survey is any easements that have been recorded on the property. Sometimes surveyors will make that clear on the survey that there's an easement over the property for a power line or something like that, and it might be good for a buyer to be aware of those easements. And then if there's a building restriction line that has been recorded in the land records that pertains to the property. If a previous owner has built something over a building restriction line, maybe a deck or a pool, or they've just extended their house past the building restriction line, that could lead to fines. It could lead to added costs down the road for the buyers, potentially lawsuits, things like that. All things that buyers might want to be aware of going into closing so that they can negotiate those issues with their sellers. And they don't have to be on their own handling those issues after closing when they come up. So that's the first reason why buyers should get a survey before closing, and Dennis is going to talk about some of the title insurance implications of getting a survey and how a survey impacts title insurance.
Yep. So the title insurance, when you have a loan policy and an owner's policy, and on the loan policy, which covers the lender, that automatically comes with a survey coverage. But on an owner's policy, when the buyer buys an owner's policy, it does not come with survey coverage unless the buyer gets a survey before closing and provides to the title company, and then it will be included in the owner's policy. And I think that is some of the misconception that buyers tend to have when they think they have an owner's policy. They think they'll be automatically covered with the survey. But that is not the case until you get a survey.
So lenders don't often require surveys because
they're already covered, correct, under their loan policy.
Right. So buyers will not be covered for matters of survey unless they get a survey. Is that
correct?
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and those reasons, along with just the greater knowledge of the property that's provided by a survey, are why Vesta has a pro-survey policy and why we opt for buyers getting a survey. We don't receive any money for ordering surveys for buyers, but it's just a service that Vesta provides to go ahead and order surveys for buyers when we get the contract in, when we're setting up the file. There's a few issues that have arisen because of trying to get buyers surveys and trying to get buyers that added protection for their title insurance. And it really comes up because surveyors are third parties that we're working with, and they can't always work on our schedule. They can't always let us know how quickly they're going to be able to get out to a property and get a survey done. Sometimes it could take weeks from the time we put in a survey order for us to get that survey back. And so it's really hard to reach out to buyers and say we're going to be ordering a survey and provide them with all of the information, and then have time to hear back from them, and then order the survey, and then have the surveyor go out to the property, do the survey, and then get that back before closing. So that's caused a few issues. So Vesta has defaulted to ordering surveys for buyers who are purchasing properties of 1 acre or less. Whenever we get in the file, we immediately send out an email to the buyers saying that we're going to be ordering a survey. Here's some information about surveys, and it's really what we've been discussing in this
And
video.
Plus, the big advantage of getting a survey kind of early is if there is like an issue, like an encroachment, you can fix it before closing.
Exactly.
At the seller's expense.
Right. You can have that to negotiate with the
Right.
sellers. Yeah, the agents can get involved, and everybody can negotiate the issues, because now we're aware of what issues there are with the property, and we can figure out who's going to pay for what, and who's going to make the issues right. And so we want buyers to be in that position where they can negotiate. So we go ahead and default ordering a survey, and then if buyers choose not to have a survey, we ask them to let us know early, so that we can cancel that survey order if that is something that they don't want to have. So that's Vesta's survey policy and the reasons for the survey policy, why it's good to have a survey done. If you have any further questions about this issue, just go to vestasettlements.com or give us a call. We're happy to answer any questions.